So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me. Just watch me.
Raise your hand if you've thought to yourself, I'll just warm up in the workout. Yeah, I'm guilty. Probably like a lot of you are. But the advantages to warming up your body, if you truly want to reach peak performance, if you truly want to get the most out of every minute that you put into your workout, necessitates that you actually warm up ahead of time. So let's talk quick, easy, functional warm-ups to get you ready to row. If this is your first time here, welcome to Dark Horse, where you are the hero of your own story, and we are the guide that's going to help you get to where you would like to go. Now, getting into today, what we are talking about is a simple format for scheduling and prepping your own warm-up that will take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes pre-workout to get the most out of what you're going to do. If that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. As I mentioned, we're gonna be working through the 3 pieces of a good warm-up that will get your body prepped and ready to go. As I mentioned, 15 to 30 minutes. Essentially, we're assigning 5 minutes to each section. Now, can you run it faster? Of course. Can you run it longer? Of course. And generally, the rule of thumb when we are talking about a warm-up is the shorter the workout, the longer the warm-up. Now, I'm not saying that if you have a 10K for time, you should just jump into the workout and go because it's going to be a long workout. You still need warm-up time. But if you have a 2K, for example, and you're going to do a 2K for time, guess what? That warm-up is going to be long. It's going to include gentle warm-ups, stretching. It's going to include times at your goal pace for the workout. It's a whole bunch of things that go into getting ready for a workout like that aren't necessarily there for a longer piece. So just keep that in mind as we go through. But with that being said, let's get into the 3 essential parts. Now, one of the things that's more important as we get through this is that you have a toolbox of a few different things that you could do to help warm you up specifically for the purposes of rowing. This format applies to whatever exercise you're doing. It doesn't have to just be rowing. But the exercises that I'm going to give you in a little bit are definitely conducive to just being on the rowing machine and things that will help you as you are warming up for a rowing machine purpose. So stay tuned for that, but let's get into part 1 of what makes a great warm-up. Step 1 in this process is getting your body moving gently and gradually. And the why. So the objective here is that you slowly and gently coax the body into movement instead of smashing it in the face with an all-out activity. Your goal is to slowly help introduce your body to the fact that today you're going to be doing something active and giving yourself the forethought to eliminate any potential easily avoidable injuries that could happen because you're going from cold to hot real fast. It's kind of like if you have a glass jar that's cold and then you immediately introduce boiling liquid, you can very easily just shatter the jar because it shocks the system. We don't want to do that to our body. We want to gradually heat up as we go. So no surprises here, but the easy way of getting into this is basically start with a 5-minute basic introduction to how do you move, meaning practice the activity you're going to be doing that day at an extremely, and I can't emphasize this enough, just a moving pace. Don't worry about breathing hard right away. Allow that to pick up over the 5 minutes or 10 minutes. A perfect example of this is using our 10-minute build that we posted a few weeks ago. If you're with our channel and you follow what we've got, make sure that you're using that video. It's a perfect way. You start at a 16 stroke rate and you build up to a 30 over 10 minutes. It's one of the best ways of getting your body prepped and ready to go because you start at a 16, 0 pressure on, and you are just moving. And then at the end, you find that you are breathing heavy, you're a little bit warm and sweaty, but you're not fatigued. And that essentially is the goal of this step 1 in the warm-up phase. It's just getting you prepped and ready to go, hot and sweaty, breathing heavy, but not fatigued. Step 2 in this process is mobilize your major joints. Essentially, the parts of the body that are required and necessary for you to create optimal peak performance of the thing. In our instance, we're speaking to the rowing movement. So with that being said, what are the primary parts of the body responsible for good performance on the machine? Hips, back, quads, hamstrings, core, lats. Those are all things that need to be really like warmed, opened, movable. That's really the goal of step 2, is the mobilization part. Now here is where we are starting to open up range of motion. So instead of just creating blood flow, we're starting to say, all right, joints, it's time for you to get ready. Now, that may include activation of some kind. For example, with the midline, I want to make sure that my midline is ready to brace and be able to take the load that you will be distributing into the machine. My lats, they need to be activated and turned on because I need to be able to hang from right here. Right? So that's an important piece to turn on. My hips, they need to be open because my legs need range of motion. So I need to have my hips be able to allow my knees to move in and out as necessary. I also need that pelvis to be able to tilt forward and back, so the hamstrings need to be mobilized so that they're ready to give me range of motion. The quads, they need to be active so that when I push, they're warmed up and they're tuned and ready to push. As opposed to if we avoid all of that, if we don't do that ahead of time, when you get into the movement, each of these pieces of the puzzle, they start to act independently because they're all just trying to fire for the first time. And that's where we reduce performance, is that when you're asking those things for the first time inside of a demanding effort to turn on, well, they're not going to be ready to go. They aren't going to have the blood flow necessary. They aren't going to be primed, and you haven't sent the signal that, hey, body, it's time to go. Some of my favorite mobilizations, and these are, feel free to grab these, take them, but also invent your own off of them, or go do some extra research on great hip mobility, quad activation, hamstring lengthening, all of these for mobility purposes. Go search that. You can create your own plan. I just want to give you a few that I like when I'm getting onto the machine. That would include leg swings, X-band walks, or monster walks, they're otherwise known as, glute bridges, and any kind of hip hinging that's going to prime that hip hinge movement, meaning if these are my hips, this movement of the hip, priming that. So let me just show you a little of how these could work. So with an X-band walk or a monster walk, the intention of this is to get your glutes firing and turned on. You can use a regular band or a mini band. It's totally up to you. This can be accomplished in a number of ways. With the mini band, you'll have it just above your knees. With a large band, you will have your feet set in. You'll be pulling it up as tight as possible and then crossing the band over itself. And this just creates lateral tension on the foot. You then get into an athletic position and you will essentially sidestep 10 per side and then 10 forward and 10 back. The objective is you take very small steps each time, making sure that the band isn't pulling your legs together, that you keep your feet spread, and the burn in the glutes is oh so real on this. With a glute bridge, you are again asking for glute activation as well as some quad activation and also good midline stability. These are easy, no equipment needed. You are laying on the floor, feet flat, knees bent. You will then keep your midline brace, meaning your rib cage drawn down towards your pelvis or your hips, and you will simply press through your feet, squeezing your butt as you attempt to open your hips without opening your rib cage, meaning that the body stays in a nice lined plank from the shoulder to the knee as you establish this. Do this with control and give yourself 10 to 20 reps of this where you simply drive up, squeeze, brace, and hold for maybe 2-3 seconds at the top. Slowly bring yourself back down and repeat. On the leg swing, find something to hold on to. I use a PVC pipe. You can use a wall. You can use a rack. You can use a broom handle. Whatever you want. Maybe just nothing. You're welcome to do it without that too. And all you are doing is asking for hip mobility here, allowing the leg to swing both laterally and forward and back so that you allow that leg to really just move through the joint, trying to create as much range of motion through that hip joint as possible for the leg to begin to open up and create greater range of motion. On the hip hinge, the goal here is to make sure that your trunk or your midline stays braced and in the same position. Now, this doesn't mean broken with the rib cage flaring open. This means that you keep the rib cage tied down with the pelvis, and that when you move, it's as if you are reaching your hips behind you to try and touch a wall with just your butt. And you want to make sure that you keep your feet grounded so your weight is through your toes and your heels. Push your hips back as you reach through the hamstrings and start to feel a pull on the hamstring. That's your indicator that you're doing it right. Do not allow the spine to round. The goal here is not necessarily range of motion. It is good range of motion, meaning how far can the body actually move before you start to break that spine, meaning you start to round the spine or give up tension there. That's the objective, is just tap into how do you close the hips and then open them with success. Step 3 in creating a good warm-up is adding intensity. Here's where you really begin to tell the body exactly what's going to happen. So you're essentially doing a mock start of what the workout is going to be. For example, if I want to row a 2K, after I've done my gentle, gradually increasing warm-up, then I've performed my mobility pieces that I need to get ready for whatever that movement is going to be. I arrive at the adding intensity piece. A good way of doing this would be a 6-minute row, so the length of time that, roughly the length of time, or perhaps 8 minutes, the length of time that you would row the 2K. At, I would say, 3 points inside that time span, I'm going to do what's called a power 20. That is 20 hard strokes at my goal pace for the day. And what that's doing is telling my body, hey, I know this feels like a bit of a shock, and I know you're warm, but I need to send the signal to my body, this is the demand that I'm looking for today. I need you to be ready to go, and here's exactly what it feels like. Okay? It's like getting your engine revved up, ready to go, and then backing off a little bit. And that's why we do 3 sets of power 20s, is because set 1, you're going to feel that power 20. You're like, ooh, I don't know how that feels for today. But then by the second time, you're like, okay, got it. I'm starting to feel the rhythm, what I need, how to connect, how to deliver the force that I'm looking for. And by number 3, you're like, wow, okay, I'm starting to experience a little bit of fatigue, but I'm hot. I'm still sweaty, and I'm feeling good and primed and ready to go. And that's the exact thing that you are looking for inside of the intensity piece. Now, what's important to note with this is that blood flow is greater than fatigue. So yes, I mentioned you may begin to feel a little bit of fatigue, but at no point in this part of the warm-up should you be feeling like you're starting to decline. This should be a, whew, that was taxing, and I'm okay. I can step off for 5 minutes, recover, my brain is tuned, my body is tuned, and it knows what it has to execute for the day. Now again, it's important that when you add this intensity piece, you are thinking of it from a perspective of what do I have to do today? What is the demand of this workout? And that you tune the intensity accordingly. Do not just pick power 20s at a 2K pace. Know exactly what you're going to do for that day and change what you're going to do in the intensity piece accordingly. And again, the shorter the workout, the longer the warm-up. The longer the workout, the shorter the warm-up can be. So keep that in mind as you are structuring what your intensity piece will look like. And again, this should fall in the 5 to 10 minute range. From here, have everything ready to go. Before you start your warm-up in total, have your water ready. If you're going to have music, have it queued up on your phone and ready to go. If you need a bathroom break, and you know that about yourself, take your bathroom break in between maybe part 1 and part 2. Have things primed, because when you come out of step 3, it's important to know that you want to use that heat that you've built up with your body to get into the piece. People make the error often of stepping away, taking too long, and then they end up cooling down. And when they get into the workout, it shocks them again because they've cooled down too much. So don't allow too much time to elapse. I would say anything more than 10 minutes, and even that's on the upper threshold. 5 minutes is about perfect. Once you get done with phase 3, no more than 5 minutes if you can help it before you're getting onto the machine, ready to hit the workout and ready to just put to use what you've spent the time building, right? Warm-up is all about delivering the best possible performance, your peak performance. Don't lose it by spending too much time off the machine thinking about what the workout is going to be. That's another advantage to using a warm-up routine like this, is it gets your mind set, and it puts you in a frame of mind of, I'm ready to approach this, not, ooh, how's this going to go? I have no clue. Let's just find out. Right? That part is important for you to learn and know to be successful. So go forth, my friends, and be successful in your workouts. And if you happen to be doing the follow-along workouts that we're posting, use this warm-up sequence to get the warm-up that you want and spend that time. You will not regret doing it. You will regret getting into the middle of a hard workout when you haven't done it. And again, at the beginning, I raised my hand. I have been guilty of not warming up before, and I just always feel better when I have the opportunity to do it, because I go in with a stronger mindset, a stronger body, and I'm ready to perform. So go out there, take this information, use it for yourself, give it to others. The whole goal is that we are building this Dark Horse community together, because this truly is a community of supportive individuals. And if you watch this and you're like, yeah, that all made sense to me, and I like what this guy is saying, and also, he's super cool. If that's you, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so that you get alerted whenever we come out with a new video, and you become a part of the Dark Horse community that lives here and everywhere else where Dark Horse exists. Guys, thank you as always for tuning in, and I mean it when I say it from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. Thank you all for being amazing human beings. Continue to do that and continue to spread love everywhere you go. Guys, with that being said, we will see you on the other side. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this and you're looking for more and you want workouts, continuous coaching from me and my other coaches in our private Facebook community, it's our monthly workout program. It's $39 a month. Just go over to darkhorserowing.com/athlete to sign up now.